Beep.
On mine, it just looked like you had this big wind up for it. You're like, beep.
Welcome back
Welcome back.
to Am I the Asshole?
Another one.
And this one's gonna be this one's about to get real.
Yeah, is this one another not safe for work?
This is definitely an SFW, 100%.
I mean, talk about porn at work, right?
I mean, we talked about porn in our last podcast.
Yep. Yeah, you should go back and watch that because it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We're not making money this week.
No. Nope. We're taking the L so you don't have to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we'll just jump right in. I mean, so today's topic, if you missed the podcast episode, go watch it. We have a lot of questions about what's going on right now in the world of YouTube and the transparent try-ons. It was funny. So what y'all missed, and unfortunately I wish we were still rolling for this, was like I actually clicked on one of those videos and it just the downward spiral that it took. And it was just like, what? Yo, Granny a baddie though.
Granny a baddie.
Oh my God, dude. So it kind of inspired us to just go ahead and do an Am I the Asshole porn edition, basically.
Yeah. We're just gonna be bricked up after this week.
It's just hard, dude.
Yeah.
Straight hard.
Fucking, I just shook everything.
Oh my God. As always, thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Join the Lousy listeners. Like the video if it's something you enjoy. Comment down below as we read these stories. Give us your thoughts. Yeah, I have nothing. I have no preamble for this one, unfortunately.
No, we'll just jump straight.
Just Granny a baddie, dude.
Granny a baddie. And then rock, paper, scissors.
I will say this before we RPS.
Granny a baddie.
Like, I get it. I don't want to say anything against the grind. What was it? She had like 8.1 million views on that one video and then like 234 subs. If she's getting ad rev off of that, huh?
You said 234. 234,000.
Oh, 234,000. Yeah, 234,000 subs, 8.1 million views on that one episode. And she had more. Like, if she's getting ad rev off of that, like,
she might be.
Possibly. I'm curious.
Our next guest on the Lousy show is Granny a baddie.
Granny a baddie, dude. Oh my God. Let's do RPS already. Let's get this one. This is gonna be like, this is one of those times where like we could be heinous, but it's also gonna be awkward because we're like, how far is too far?
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable.
Honestly, as someone who never gets uncomfortable, same.
Yeah,
I am very much like nervous right now. So, because you don't want to come off overly horny, you know, like. Let's do some jerk off motions real quick.
I'm starting with paper. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Because I'm not trying to be suggestive in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and
I'm not fucking kidding. I'm gonna say, oh God damn it. No, I can't win. I can't win. No.
Oh, join me, brother.
Oh, fine. Okay.
All right.
That's
Ready?
That's weird. Okay. Ready? Yeah. Don't get the right technique on the left hand. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck. Okay. Oh.
You count it off.
Oh no.
I'm just waiting on you, buddy.
Oh.
It's all right. You'll get rock hard in a second.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, you won. Take it. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't know if I want to start, to be honest.
well, before you do, giving a quick shout out, we actually had this story recommended to us, which also helped really flow into everything. It's difficult. Either way, shout out to Fire Thief 01 for recommending this to us.
You know, sometimes the universe just wants you to talk about porn. And,
that's it. And
that's
you know
fine,
what? Let's dive in.
Jump right in.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for being upset about my wife masturbating? Am I the asshole for being... Okay, you said the same thing again. So, my wife, 28 female, and I, 30 male, have been together for 10 years, married for 3 years. Our sex life is pretty much non-existent. We went through some real tough times when we were both studying in our mid-20s with no money and not much time for each other. This ended up in our sex life pretty much dying out, as it's hard to be horny when you're stressed. Not so much for me, but this is what she had said to me. I've been understanding and supportive as much as I can be. I try to make it about her when we do the deed, lots of foreplay and researching ways that I can make it more enjoyable for her, etc., but she doesn't really seem into it. We have sex maybe every 3 months, and when we do, I feel like she just can't be bothered. She's told me many times in the past that she just doesn't have a high sex drive, but when she tells me that she gets herself off like 2 to 3 times a week. Interesting. She also told me that her and her ex-boyfriend, was a very long time ago when she was 17, used to have sex all the time, but they had no emotional connection. She values our relationship because we have that emotional connection. I have a ridiculously high sex drive, so it's pretty tough for me, lol. I don't actually care that she masturbates, but it makes me feel like she's lying about having a low sex drive. This makes me feel like I'm just not good enough and she's not attracted to me. I keep myself pretty fit and well groomed. I work hard to bring in money to pay the mortgage and support her more emotionally. Trying to get set a good foundation for being a good husband, but still doesn't seem to make her attracted to me. Am I being a sensitive little bitch, or is something off here? Let's see. Edit number 1, I think looks safe. I get her off pretty easily with clitoral stimulation during foreplay. My cunnilingus techniques have gotten pretty good as a result of me trying to learn better ways to pleasure her. I honestly think that she just isn't sexually attracted to me anymore and doesn't want to admit that it's a lost cause. I really just need a sexual connection, and yes, I have spoken to her many times about my needs. 2, I think we'll...
Yeah, skip that.
On. Yeah. And the paragraph after that's the same. So anyway, so yeah, bring it back around. Am I the asshole for being upset about my wife masturbating?
Two things here. One, for the first time, we have a story. It's from a different subreddit. It's still Am I the Asshole, but it's AITAH. And on AITAH, they do not have verdicts. So for the first time, you and I get to decide without any kind of pre-notion what we think.
Which, I mean, that never really factored in anyway, but
that's fair.
At least now y'all don't have an excuse.
Right?
I don't think it's necessarily something that he's an asshole about. What I really think, they've talked about it, but it sounds like they need to go to couples counseling. I think they have sexual counselors, right? Like, so, or just sex counselors. Like, sounds like that might need to be a thing, especially if it's something that for him is something that is pretty important like that. Then, I mean, I think that's the natural next step. And I think it's a perfectly healthy thing to talk about. Mm-hmm. Just so that way that, you're both being, meeting the needs.
I mean, here's the truth of the matter, and I know you and I think very similarly here, is that sex is important in a marriage or a relationship in general. Like, sex is your sexual compatibility is a foundational foothold for a lot of other things amongst, your communication skills, Lord, I'm trying to go into the relationship therapy now, but like your sexual relations, your communication, your physical language outside of the sex realm of things, your emotional language, as much as I hate it sometimes, your love language, like all these things are like show your compatibility with your partner. I don't want to necessarily say you're being an asshole for being upset about your wife masturbating, but you are being an asshole if like to me it sounds like you haven't talked to her about this.
Yeah, at least not in that respect of it.
Yeah,
he just said that he's spoken about his needs, but not so much how to achieve those.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey,
and he hasn't brought up.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't brought up like, hey, you're masturbating a lot, and it makes me feel inferior. Like,
yeah,
that's a real thing. Like some people don't understand that, but like when partners, if you don't find your partner sexually attractive, you need to say that. In this situation, I don't think that's the case. I think what's happening is she's finding free time when he's not around, and it's not just because she's trying to. It sounds like it's just like, all right, well, our lives are so busy, I'm gonna rub one out real quick. Like, fuck it, full send,
Yeah.
And sexual needs are very important across the board for both partners, but you need to. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and key it up. It's on the tee for us right here. Like this is textbook for us to go ahead and say, like, y'all need some good, honest, healthy communication. I mean, that's what this is. Like, honestly, you're not communicating with one another.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody's really an asshole here,
Yeah, I'm gonna say not the asshole.
Yeah, I'm gonna say not the asshole. If you had said that and you were like, hey, you masturbate too much, then yeah, maybe. But if this so far seems to be an internal just kind of concern, and that just needs to be voiced and then dealt with appropriately at this point. So
yeah. Well, also, and I mean, like, look, I'm not going to go into depth on this at all, but I mean, there's nothing wrong at all with masturbating. I mean, hell, you could masturbate with your partner if you wanted to. If you two want to get a little freaky deaky with one another and just rub one out together, like, that's pretty fucking hot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of those times where it's like you find when you explore sexually with your partner, you unlock a lot of things that you don't realize y'all might actually enjoy. But don't be upset that she's grabbing the wand real quick. Like, just be real with her and be like, hey, if you were to call me and say, I need you to get home from work right now because I need some dick, like, I will be in the car and there in 5 minutes or less. There's no question. Like, especially if you're sexually compatible with your partner and very sexually healthy with your partner, that communication is very real and honest and raw. Like, it might sound goofy, but it's real. If you say, hey, look, I get you want to masturbate, that's totally fine. But if there are times when you can like think of me in that time and go, hey, get in the bedroom, like, I'm down,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it sounds like he's saying here is he's just like, hey, I feel inferior because all you do, like, we're busy and the times that I want to have sex, you don't, but then you're rubbing one out when I'm not around, which makes me think either you don't want me or, or you just, you don't feel like you need me.
Yeah.
And that can also be very detrimental to someone's mental health, like, real talk. That's where I agree with you 100%. Get counseling on this.
Yeah.
But you need to communicate. So I'm going to say not the asshole.
Yeah, I'm going to say not the asshole as well. We don't know what everybody else said, so let's read some comments.
Let's dive in the comments. First one here says, people masturbate for different reasons. Some do it purely out of pleasure. Some do it because it's stress relieving, and some do it out of boredom even. So sex isn't even the same as masturbation, and a low sex drive isn't the same as not masturbating. What you should really think about is, are you okay with it staying this way? You asked her many times, it seems that she hasn't changed anything, and at this point she won't. You can't change her. She needs to do that, and and if she doesn't want to, then she doesn't want to. So you either suck it up or get yourself someone that can match your sex drive. Not the asshole for feeling the way that you do. Totally agree.
Yeah.
I know you've heard me talk about this, and I'm not going to deep dive it, but the truth of the matter is sexual compatibility is such an important part of someone's relationship. And if you feel inferior because your partner doesn't want to match your sexual nature and be together in that, like, that's a real genuine conversation you have to have with them. That's a very real and honest and raw conversation that's never fucking easy. And you need to figure out what the best next steps are. I do still err with side on this one, with Sam on this side and saying, get counseling.
Yeah. And that's actually the next comment. Y'all need counseling. So
Yeah.
let's see, not the asshole, but the question isn't if she's being honest. It's if you're happy in this relationship. How do you feel? Is this something that you think you can last?
OP actually responds saying, yeah, I keep trying to convince myself that we can fix it because we have been together so long, but deep down I worry that I'm just wasting my time. That's a very real worry. I've heard friends who have like spoken about this too in their marriages and relationships. That's a very real thing. Like, and that's not even just sex. Like that's on a few different things that you like. You feel like you're wasting your time if you try to have that communication with them and they just don't want to change it. Like,
yeah,
you know, if it's something important, you really gotta stand your ground on it. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with not the asshole, but strongly advise, go to counseling.
Yep, I agree.
All right,
moving on.
Next, am I the asshole if I thought I saw my ex-girlfriend on a porn site and sent her a message about it? I, 23 male, was attending to some business, as one does, when I came across the photo in question. In the moment, I was absolutely certain that it was my ex-girlfriend, 23 female. I thought I recognized the look of her apartment and some of the items in it. And of course, the girl in the photo was a dead ringer for her. My immediate thought was that she must have had some nudes leaked. The picture was super fetishy and didn't seem like the kind of thing she would want to get out. Some backstory, our relationship ended very poorly, and we hadn't spoken in over a year. I was the one that ended things, and she definitely took it really hard. Still, I felt obligated to at least let her know, so maybe she could take steps to have it removed or determine how it was leaked in the first place and or by whom. Long story short, it wasn't her, and now she's saying I'm an asshole for assuming that it was and for contacting her. I can see where she's coming from because she probably didn't want to hear from me to begin with, and having this be the contact was probably a tough pill to swallow. But from my perspective, I didn't in any way mean to insult her. I was just trying to give her some information and then leave it to her to handle it. So, am I the asshole if I thought I saw my ex-girlfriend on a porn site and sent her a message about it?
I mean, I don't think that's really an asshole move. I mean, I guess it would depend on the conversation because, like, they don't really say how that went. They just said, hey, I assume this was it. Long story short, it wasn't her. And now she's saying I'm an asshole. So, how do you bring it up? Like, you know, I think there's a bit of missing context for that. At the core, though, I don't think that's necessarily a dick move or an asshole thing to do. At least I don't think. I don't know.
I am gonna simply say not the asshole.
Okay.
And the reason being is from context, because we can't speculate.
Yeah.
We've always said that. From context, you were trying to do the right thing by being like, hey, I'm worried someone might have leaked some pictures of you, like, just a heads up. I think that I don't see it very white knighty, but I do see it as a, hey, I'm just letting you, like, giving you heads up, like, happen to see this, thought you might want to know.
Yeah.
You know, like that you're coming at it from, and at least from context here, it sounds like you're coming at it from a very, you know, friendly standpoint of like, I want to help you make sure if this is you, get this squared away and taken care of immediately. Even if that's the case, like, and I'm looking at this also like, what if it was her, right? What if it was her posting it, right? She could at least say, not a problem, thanks, appreciate it, cool, end of story. I think her reaction is very like, especially if they ended poorly, like, I get it, but at the same time, like, the dude's trying to look out for you. He's not trying to like come back and be like, baby, I miss you, by the way, I saw your porn.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, hey, you know, I saw this, hope, you know, I hope it's not a leak or anything. If it is, like, I hope you can get this taken care of. Like, her reaction of, you know, being pissed off that he would assume it was her, and demanding he doesn't like not to contact her anymore, like that's being an asshole because someone's looking out for you. Even if they're an ex, like someone's looking out for you.
Yeah.
So I'm personally gonna say not the asshole. I do feel like there might be some context missing here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing that's kind of getting me tripped up a little bit. But I think overall, yeah, it's not the asshole because it doesn't seem like he was coming at it from any malice. You know, it just seems like he was just trying to help out. But
yeah. However,
yeah, everybody else, it's an asshole.
It's an asshole.
Let's see what's going on.
This first comment got me.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead.
You're the asshole. Is this you? That's all you said when you sent the photo? Holy crap, dude. You need to explain your reasoning the way you did here, or better yet, get a mutual friend to do it.
So, if you go back and read this, some backstory, our relationship ended very poorly. We haven't spoken for over a year. I was the one who ended things, so it was over. I felt obligated to at least let her know, so maybe she could take steps to have it removed or determine how it was leaked in the first place and or by whom. Long story short, it wasn't her, and now she's saying I'm an asshole for assuming it was and for contacting her. Not once did he say what he said. He just said he let her know.
At least so there. Hang on. I'm reading down in the comments. Oh. So another comment, info. What kind of message did you send her? Telling someone sounds okay, but the asshole judgment is really how you told her. And he responded saying, I just sent her the picture and said, is this you? I wonder if maybe I should have eased into the conversation a little bit more, but at the same time, I didn't want her to feel like I was leading her on. The other thing that could make me the asshole is that the girl in this photo was a little overweight compared to my ex when we were together, so I wonder if she felt offended by my thinking it was her.
Yep, he's an asshole.
Yeah, let me hit that rewind button here real quick.
Yeah, he's an asshole, dude.
We're like, yeah, oh God, bro. Like, he should...
You fucked up, bro. Like, I had his side 100%, and now I'm like, fuck that. Like, there are ways to handle that.
The comments make more sense now.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, dude's an asshole. Dude's an actual asshole. Yep. Like, what?
I had it on Do Not Disturb, but it's still ringing.
Rip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, dude's an asshole. There's no way around that.
Yeah, this is
his comment also had negative 241 votes. So 241 down votes. Like, we can move on. This is one of those times that the comments changed our opinion.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like the content of other people's comments. It's
because OP, man. Like,
I mean, yeah, just you're an asshole. We're changing our vote.
Yeah, you are an actual.
This will be interesting too, because in our comments we'll be able to see who puts their judgment before they see the explanation. So if you're getting this far after just posting a giant thing in there, gotcha, bitch. Moving on.
God. Next.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the video so far. While you're here, click the subscribe button to become a Lousy listener, and also click that join button. For $2.99, you can have access to exclusive emotes and also get some cool features like interacting with Joe and I. Also, click the link in the description to join our Discord. Back to the video.
Am I the asshole for calling my brother-in-law for subscribing to my porn account? Oh, calling my brother-in-law out was what it's supposed to say. But anyway, burner account for obvious reasons. If any clarifications do, I'll try to be responsive in the comments. I, 29 female, have been married to my sweet husband, 33 male, for 2 years, and we've been together for 7 years in total. While my husband is not, his family is very conservative Christian. They are nice people outside of their beliefs, but he doesn't have much contact with them. Anyways, about 5 years ago, I started making certain kinds of content on certain kinds of platforms that do not line up with my in-laws' values. I make good money. My husband and I live comfortably. Hell yeah.
Good for you.
My husband is completely supportive, but we don't tell his family what I do because he didn't want them to know. They thought that I still worked in insurance. Also, I keep my personal social media separate from the accounts I make porn with, though it's not impossible to connect the two. Not too long ago, an account using my brother-in-law's name, Eric, and a username that he has on many of his other social media accounts paid to subscribe to me on the site that I use to post adult content. I only noticed when I recognized the username when he liked a video I posted. I told my husband about this, and we decided to block the account. It was obviously him. So we went out for dinner with my husband's family, including Eric, his wife, and his newborn son for Mother's Day yesterday. Oh, God. It was a nice get-together initially. But then Eric kept asking me how work was going and kept asking for super specific details. He wouldn't leave me alone, to the point that my father-in-law noticed and cracked a joke about it. I still am not sure what the point of asking me about work was exactly. To make me lie, to embarrass me, to make me confess what I do and shock everyone? He had a look like he was trying to provoke me. Anyways, I lost my patience at one bullshit question he had and said, "You seem like you really want everyone to know I make porn." He started laughing and said that he didn't know what I meant by that. I said that he had been fixating on what I do for work all night and that it was starting to piss me off because I just had to block him and refund his money on the site he subscribed to. Anyways, my husband and I left early. My in-laws clearly don't approve of me now, and Eric and his wife were furious. Eric said that his family doesn't want to be around both my husband and myself until I apologize to him and his wife for wrongly accusing him of watching that filth. The thing is, I 100% believe that it was him, and I don't think it's right that he tried to bully me over something that has nothing to do with him. I want to stand my ground on this, but I also feel bad because my husband is unwillingly in the middle.
Stand your ground.
Happy Mother's Day.
Here's the point at the end when they're saying that Eric's being wrongfully accused of quote unquote watching that filth. Why would he be so diligent in asking those questions if he didn't?
Yeah. And then being so provoking and
yeah. Like, you're poking the bear. You are just sitting there poking the bear. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You know what you did. You know what you're doing. Like,
yeah.
This is open close for me, not the asshole.
Yeah, my only potential hang up on this is kind of like what we were talking about on a previous Am I the Asshole, of like there'd be a better way to handle it, you know, to where like she could, like, yes, she's been provoking him, but theoretically, and I'm not saying I would do this, but theoretically she could have been, you know, just played along with it and then separately been like, hey, I know what you fucking did. Cut it out or I'm outing everything, you know?
So Sam wants her to blackmail.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I agree. However, I think that based on the context, she handled it really well until she was provoked to the point of no return.
Yeah.
I think that you could also call out her husband for this because that's his brother. And for him to go like, hey, shithead, we know, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I would softly disagree with you only on the fact that I do believe that she handled it well. Like she didn't jump to the immediate, like that previous story we were talking about of like, or the one that you're referencing, I should say, of like, all right, fuckhead, like get the fuck out of my house. You know, like this was her, you know, trying to navigate it as much as possible. And then when it got to that point, she was like, all right, yeah, I show my cooter on fucking internet. What do you want? You know?
Yeah.
Like, like good for her for holding her ground as long as she could. Like everyone's got a breaking point.
Yeah.
But I see this as a win.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, I'm not saying that that's what it is. That's just another thought that popped in my head.
Yeah.
I'm saying not the asshole.
I'm saying not the asshole.
And
everyone else said
everyone sucks. They did not say everyone sucks. I'm finishing my thought. Airing on everyone sucks. Because of the previous precedent that we had set in a previous episode. So
See, I'm not the only one with contrarian viewpoints.
That's not my viewpoint. Let's go ahead and take those words back out of my mouth there for a second.
It's your view here. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Everyone else, though, said not the asshole.
Said not the asshole.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's relatively open shut. But, yeah. And brother-in-law is 100% an asshole. Like,
yeah. Well, that aligns with his first comment here. First comment reads, it was 100% him. He was definitely trying to provoke you and let you know he knew what you were doing. You'll be better off without him in your life, not the asshole. Absolutely. Like, if somebody who's that toxic in a public setting, you don't want them around. Period.
Yeah. Next one was not the asshole. He was obviously trying to shame you and make you feel awkward about what you do, but he didn't think you'd admit it or drop him in it. He thought he had the power over you, and he's pissed off it failed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty open. Oh, wait, hold on. This third one here. The OP responded, not the asshole. Also, if possible, take some screenshots confirming that he did subscribe and pay. If he tries to let you down, you have to get back at him even harder. OP responded, I had the screenshots already, but it's probably pointless and will just damage relationships further. While I agree, if you need them, save them.
The next one after that was send it to his wife, not the asshole.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty open shut. I will kindly disagree on the everyone sucks part. I don't think that OP sucks in this scenario. But that's why we have opposing viewpoints.
He's even contrarian to his own consensus. So therefore,
who's putting words in whose mouth now? Okay. All right. Last story. Let's read this. Am I the asshole for not wanting my roommate/tenant to do porn in my house? Fair. So here's the situation. I own a 3-bedroom home. I, 20 female, rent the second bedroom to my friend, 21 female. First of all, a 20-year-old owning a home. Good on you.
Big dubs.
So rent the second bedroom to my friend, 21 female, and the third is a spare room. She has an OnlyFans, which I don't mind and even take a lot of her pictures for her. She has a boyfriend who said he wants to do porn with her. He does not live with us. He lives with his grandma, so she just assumed they would do it at my house. When she mentioned this, I immediately told her I didn't think it was a good idea and it would make me extremely uncomfortable. She didn't like that and acted like it wasn't a big deal and they wouldn't be loud. I kind of put my foot down and said they would need to find somewhere else to make porn. Am I being unreasonable? I could give more context if needed. Edit, I'm not banning sex. That is not what I said. We're both in our 20s and of course we have sex. Edit 2, she made it clear they would be selling it, not just a sex tape for them personally. And edit 3, someone suggested I add that her OnlyFans is only partially nude, cleavage pics and lingerie shots, not solo porn or even close. I help her take some pics super up close on her bed when you can just see her in her duvet. It's a side gig that is not significant income. So, am I the asshole for not wanting my roommate/tenant to do porn in my house?
I think it's pretty simple. It's a no.
Yeah,
no.
Initially I was like, maybe, because it sounded like the way it was phrased, it sounded like I don't want you doing any kind of nudity stuff in my house. But then she said in the context that she sometimes like takes pictures for her sometimes. So I'm like, hold on a second, wait, what? No, not the asshole. Not the asshole at all.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
She's going from, some slightly suggestive, flirty kind of content to full on porn as a big step. And some people don't want to go that far, and that's totally fine and valid. And if you don't want, your house being the setting of porns, then that's
I'm not trying to have my basement show up on Dick Down in Dallas, volume 2.
Yeah, right.
Not trying to have that. I would say, and this is just a thought, maybe. I mean, no, because that would go against the context. Never mind. I was gonna say maybe help set up the third room as like a studio for them, but at the same time she just doesn't want them banging. It makes sense with the edits. If she's only taking risque, partially nude photos, like sure, that's a whole different ballgame. But to hear straight up just like, like it's not that you don't want that. You don't want to come home to hearing her, getting railed. It's the best way I could put it. Like,
yeah.
And who knows? Maybe they don't make noise. I don't know. That's not the case here. But like, for obvious reasons, I have to say, like, you don't want to come home to people boning like that, especially if you're like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. Period.
Yeah.
So, and also good for OP for being very clear and concise on how they explain their feelings on this, because some people just be like, fuck no. Like she was very clear. So yeah, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. And everybody else
said not the asshole.
Said not the asshole.
Yeah, it's first comment here. It says, not the asshole. You're renting a room out, not a movie studio. They can get a hotel room if it's that important to them. That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, and I'm gonna dive into my knowledge bank of pornographic industry stuff. But like a lot of stars have discussed like what it's like for sets and whatnot. And that's oftentimes like, especially if you watch an adult film, you'll see like they're in these random houses or random mansions or like this random apartment or a random hotel room. It's like, that's because they're renting that for the day. Like that's part of their set cost is to like get that. And so typically what'll happen is they'll end up doing like 4 or 5 different movies in one day in different rooms around this or in different settings around this place. So that way they can knock out 5 films, boom, done, and be good for a week.
Yeah.
Like that's oftentimes what you see in those situations. So it's like, yeah, go get a hotel room. Like there's nothing against it. Like you're just upset that you can't do it in the place that you live.
Yep.
Also, I would like to say I'm curious on something. This thought just occurred to me. She didn't say they don't have sex in their place. So is this because they're making porn or because they're having sex? That's a context. That's a context that we need, because and I'll go back and read this real quick. He does not live with us. He lives with his grandma, so just assumed they would do it at my house. When she mentioned this, I immediately told her I didn't think it was a good idea and it would make me extremely uncomfortable. She didn't like to act and acted like it wasn't a big deal and wouldn't be loud. Yeah. So no, so she didn't give context to the fact that like, especially if they've been dating, like you can only assume they've probably been boning, especially if they want to do porn together. So are they not having sex in the house, or is it because they wanted to do porn that you have a problem with it? Like that's actually a genuine point that I'm curious on.
I think it's the porn part, because the first edit is, I'm not banning sex. That is not what I said. We were both in our 20s. Of course we have sex.
Oh yeah. Okay. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So yeah. No,
so it's yeah. Then she just doesn't want porn, like,
yeah,
the video to show up.
Yep. Let's see. Not the asshole. You're renting her a room. Your home equals your rules. If she doesn't like it, she can live somewhere else. Please do not leave your home alone with her, because I have a feeling she'll go ahead with it anyway. How are you supposed to expect to do that?
I mean, you could set up security cameras, but that's a little over the top.
Yeah, no, that's
like
that's
the only unfortunate thing that I think, like, I guess you could technically add in a clause in the lease, and you both formally sign it and have it notarized and such, of like there will be no sexually explicit behaviors being filmed on site. And then if you do find out she's doing that, you have grounds to kick her out, but that's even still just a bit extreme. Like,
yeah,
that's a whole level in which I don't know if I would want to put the foot time in to get to that point, Yeah. I do like this info. Why does it matter what they're doing behind closed doors? If you could hear them, see them, etc., and it affected your day to day, I can understand. But if she never said anything, you wouldn't know. So what's the issue, or am I missing something? I guess it ties into those edits that make sense, because like that goes back to what we were saying of, if they're boning behind closed doors, what's it matter? But it sounds like overall she just doesn't want her house to be showing up in porn films.
Yeah.
Whether they're on OnlyFans or the Hub or whatever. So that makes sense.
Yep. I think this is pretty simple.
Yeah, done there.
Yep.
Wow, another banger.
Yeah,
slamming it out. That was poor pun.
I didn't mean that. Innuendo here. Like, and
like the video if you like the story today. Let us know in the comments. if you think this is banger after banger. No, really, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate everybody who has. Join the Lousy listeners. Let us know in the comments what you think on these stories, and yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.
See you
later.